House Connington may not be one of the great houses of Westeros, but their story is tied to some of the most important moments in the Targaryen legacy. From Robert's Rebellion to the mysterious rise of young Griff, Jon Connington's life is one of loyalty, exile, and perhaps redemption. Today, let's cover the history of House Connington and the fate of its most infamous lord. House Connington rules from Griffin's Roost, a castle overlooking Shipbreaker Bay in the Stormlands. Their sigil is a red griffin on a white field, and their words have never been revealed, but they are known for fierce loyalty to their liege lords and ancient roots in the Stormlands, until Jon Connington. House Connington traces back to the Age of Heroes, where the first Griffin King supposedly ruled the lands around Shipbreaker's Bay, but unfortunately they were never as powerful as the Baratheons, but they are one of the most prominent Stormlander bannermen. During the events of Robert's Rebellion, Jon Connington, Lord of Griffin's Roost, was not just another Stormlord. He was a very close companion of Prince Rhaegar Targaryen. Many suggest that Jon's devotion to him went beyond friendship, but nobody really knows. But his loyalty was absolute. When Robert's Rebellion broke out after Rhaegar's alleged abduction of Lyanna Stark, Jon Connington was one of the most steadfast Targaryen supporters. After Rhaegar's death at the Battle of the Trident, King Aerys named Jon Hand of the King, charging him with crushing Robert's Rebellion before he could rebuild his strength. Jon Connington marched on Stony Sept, where Robert was badly wounded and was actually hiding. Determined to end the rebellion in one stroke, Jon searched the town, but he hesitated in kind of just burning the whole place down, killing all the townsfolk, and that actually gave Robert's allies, in this case being Ned Stark and Jon Arryn, time to arrive with reinforcements. The bells of the Stony Sept rang out to warn of their coming, giving the battle that took place there its actual name, the Battle of the Bells. Connington fought fiercely, but was outnumbered and shockingly outmaneuvered. Robert escaped once again, and the rebellion continued to grow. For this failure, King Aerys stripped Jon of his titles and his lands, and summarily exiled him across the Narrow Sea. I've heard "get out of my sight" before, but this takes it to a whole new meaning where, hey, I don't even want to see you in my damn country ever again. Have fun across the sea. And his seat at Griffin's Roost was granted to a minor cousin, and some people call the minor cousin a false Connington, to keep the house alive, but the loyalty actually switched to the Baratheons. Jon Connington became known as the Griffin reborn in exile. He joined the Golden Company, as most people do that are exiled from Westeros, it seems like. They're the most, powerful sellsword company in Essos. They are known to have never, abandoned a contract, and he rose to become a commander. If you guys want to know more about the Golden Company, I've covered it in a video and a short. But exile broke him. Connington drowned his sorrows in the old alcohol. Haunted by his failure to Rhaegar and the Targaryens, his shame defined him. And he often spoke of himself as the man who lost a crown and a kingdom at Stony Sept. During these years, he also contracted grayscale. And if you've watched the TV show, you know damn well what grayscale is. It's a deadly disease that slowly turns stone to flesh. He hides this affliction knowing it will eventually kill him. I know in most cases, you get bad enough, they're just like, hey, we're going to send you to Old Valyria. Good luck. I honestly couldn't imagine having the job sailing all of these people to Old Valyria and then just kind of kicking them off and saying, well, bye, and then coming back home. It's kind of wild. Connington's life changed when he was approached by Varys and Illyrio. Again, characters you guys should know. They entrusted him with the protection of a boy named young Griff. This boy was actually revealed to be Aegon Targaryen, the supposedly murdered son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Elia Martell. According to Varys, baby Aegon was switched with another infant during the sack of King's Landing and smuggled across the Narrow Sea to Essos. Whether this is a true story, whether it's just a completely made-up story, Jon Connington believed it completely. I personally believe it's just because Jon thought he had a second chance of helping Rhaegar, so he bought it hook, line, and sinker. He became Aegon's surrogate father, teaching him both the art of war and the duties of rule. Jon raised Aegon not just as a claimant to the Iron Throne, but as the son he never had. And perhaps as a reflection of Rhaegar himself. By the time of the Dance of Dragons, Jon Connington and Aegon set sail with the Golden Company to invade Westeros. If I have my information correctly from other videos that I've covered and researched, they actually broke a contract to help Jon Connington and Aegon invade Westeros, which is the first time ever in the history of the Golden Company that they broke a contract. Their plan was originally to join forces with Daenerys Targaryen, but Jon Connington chose a bolder path to land in Westeros first and win victories under Aegon's own banner before, or maybe not even, teaming up with Daenerys. They seized Griffin's Roost, shocker, reclaiming Jon's ancestral home, and began rallying Stormlanders to their cause. Unlike Daenerys, Aegon was already marching across Westeros, sword in hand with a seasoned army behind him. He literally had the greatest, most high-profile sellsword company at his back. And at this point, the Stormlanders that were left are remnants of actual armies. So they know what they're doing as well. Jon believed this was his chance to redeem himself for the failures that he had during Robert's Rebellion, and to place Rhaegar's son, his really good friend, wink wink, upon the Iron Throne. As of the end of the book so far, Jon Connington is one of the most important figures in so-called young Griff's rebellion. He commands the Golden Company and serves as hand to Aegon, effectively leading his campaign against Westeros, but his secret grayscale threatens basically everything. Nothing beats having a kind of high-profile person who's been Hand of the King helping you every step of the way, be there and then one day not. If it spreads too far, Jon risks both his own life and the life of those around him. His story is tragic. Once a proud lord, then a failure, consuming, everything in exile, and then a man seeking redemption in the service of his best friend's son that he didn't know was even alive. Whether Aegon is truly who he claims to be, or if he's a carefully crafted imposter, Jon Connington's loyalty to him is absolute. There are other stories and conspiracies where young Griff is actually not a Targaryen, not a random, but an actual Blackfire, which would just be the icing on the conspiracy cake for me. But to conclude, Jon Connington went from exile after the Battle of the Bells to the Golden Company. Jon Connington has defined his life by loyalty and loss. He fights not for himself, but for the son of a man he loved and followed. The question is, will Jon's redemption arc, will his final gamble actually restore the Targaryens, or doom him again to a second, even greater failure? That's the video, guys. If you guys have any suggestions on video, any critiques on video, leave it in the comments. Other than that, thanks for stopping by, guys. I don't know, do the typical YouTube stuff. Like the video if you liked it. Double hit the thumbs down if you didn't like the video. That extra tells me that you didn't like it. Share it. Do the typical YouTube shit. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Peace.